And so we continue plugging away today with Wave 3 Deluxes for Age of the Primes with Micronus Prime. I had no idea how they were going to handle this guy. My Micronus has always been the little Titan Master, because I said he's the prime of Minicons and Micromasters. Little Titan Master made sense for him, even though it was not colored accurately to the character. And then I heard it was going to be a deluxe. How is this going to turn out? I'm going to tell you now. I love the guy, but wow, what a weird oddity. And quite frankly, there's one thing I'm going to talk about that I honestly don't know how it works. I really don't. We'll get into it all in the latest GotBot True review. Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course subscribe, and while you're at it, light them up, baby. Hit the notification bell, please. Helps me out a ton, lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below. Also in the description down below, and if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link, check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. At first I didn't like this because I said he's too big. Then I found out that the lineage, I suppose, that follows from Micronus expanded beyond Micromasters and Minicons to include a little bit of Pretender and a little bit of like weaponizer, fossilizer, Junkion. I didn't know how I was going to feel about this guy, but I said, man, I love the 13, I'm in for it. How good is he? How much of a true blue deluxe is he? Because he seems pretty tiny. Well, we're going to head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. And so today we continue on with the Wave 3 Deluxes of Age of the Primes with the next Prime being Micronus, of course, part of the 13. We have previously looked at Prima, Vector Prime, technically Alpha Trion because of the Hero is Born set, though the Age of the Primes version that I'm going to use as A3 is still up and coming. We've looked at Solus, we've looked at Alchemist, we've looked at Megatronus. And that's kind of where we're to. We know we have, you know, Quintus coming up, and Amalgamus coming up, and Onyx coming up, already in the offing. And today, of course, we'll look at Micronus. And this is the packaging for Micronus. And you can see that he has a very odd alt mode. I was wondering how they were going to handle this guy, as he is the prime of Minicons. But we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. Over here, of course, you can see him inside of his Apex Armor exosuit type of thing. Usual Age of the Prime stuff here. And on the back, you can see Micronus in both modes. You can see his alt mode, and you can see him inside his armor. We've got a pretty giant sheet of instructions. They're okay, but not perfect. And his artifact is the Chimera Stone. I think it's pronounced Chimera. I've heard it also pronounced Chimera, but I don't think that's right. I think it's Chimera Stone. Basically, this allows him to project his power onto the other primes when they need it, to make them stronger or, you know, better at what they're doing. Or it allows him to take the power of other primes to enhance his own strength. Like at one point in the Covenant, he takes some of Onyx's essence and like transforms into like this big beast thing. So he's actually a really diminutive looking prime, but a very powerful prime because of his artifact, the Chimera Stone. And though I'm not yet showing the entirety of the primes together because we don't have all of the primes together, here he is next to the recently reviewed Alchemist. In fact, I only looked at Alchemist back in episode 1296, so not very long ago at all. And I was smitten with him. I love Alchemist. A whopping like 105, 106 grams of plastic. He's huge, he's robust, he's solid. And when Micronus was coming, I was a bit concerned because, as you can see here, he looks diminutive. But you gotta remember that this guy for a deluxe is gigantic. So we're gonna take Alchemist out of it, and we're going to focus just on this guy, who also clocks in at a whopping 87 grams. I've always said traditional deluxe mass was always 84 to 86 grams. This is 87. It's right in the ballpark of what exactly a deluxe class offering should be. Plus this guy has the articulation, the extra parts, the extra paint, blah, blah, blah. That's what I've always argued for years. Do not trade out mass to get things like extra parts or extra articulation or whatever. We should get what we had established as the value plus more since you're charging us more. The Chimera Stone, it can go in right there on his tummy and it looks just fine. In terms of the look of the guy, the smaller actual Micronus that's inside of this armor is very reminiscent of his look from RID 2015. The armor here itself, while it has hints of RID 2015, it also has hints of the Apex armor from Transformers Prime. And because you put Micronus inside of this armor, I guess you could also say there's a little bit of Pretender technology here. In fact, I've heard it said that Micronus in Age of the Primes is not only the prime of Minicons and Micromasters, but also the prime of Pretenders and like weaponizers, fossilizers, right? He is that whole lineage. So the diminutive ones and the weaponizers, fossilizers apparently come from this guy. Though I would argue fossilizers probably come from Onyx. I digress. Some have even said that this is the prime of Junkions because this guy can come apart and become like a weaponizer type of gimmick. For the look, he has the kind of greens and turquoisey colors that you would sort of need for Micronus. Because he's sort of a hodgepodge of a whole lot of iterations, I'm by default going to give him a 10. And when you see the inner Micronus, it's very much RID 2015. So I'm going to say a 10. In terms of the articulation for the guy, left, right, kind of forward and back a little bit. A little hard to move it though because of this piece behind it. The arms, they can go technically all the way around, though you do have these pieces sort of in the way a little bit. Elbow to 90 degrees, out to the side. We do have a wrist rotation. I wish these fingers could bend or something, but they don't. We also have full T-pose ability, which I'm a big fan of. Oops, sorry. Legs can go all the way out to the side. They can kick this down. They can kick that far forward, which it's pretty good. It's not perfect. Well, it's pretty close on perfect though. The knee, super deep knee actually because of transformation, but it's there. Thigh swivel, ankle tilt. Even if you want to untransform the toe, you can even get a little bit of a like toe tilt forward if you wanted it. So, oh, and no waist, I'm assuming. Yeah, no waist, but I get why. The only thing he's missing is a waist. And that's really because of the like Pretender-ish type of technology that his body is. As such though, because he doesn't have a waist, that's kind of a glaring omission. I'm going to say that his articulation, he's missing that one thing. It's a 9. You can still do a lot with him. And when you plant him, he's really solid on his feet as well. So I'm going to say a 9, because why the heck not? The transformation. This is where things begin to get interesting. So we open that up and we will pop out the actual Micronus. This is the actual Micronus. It's basically like a Minicon type of symbol. Think of it like the innards, I suppose, of Soundwave. You know, like this kind of goes in the armor's chest, sort of kind of like Soundwave. So for now what we're going to do is we're going to lay the armor aside and we're going to look at Micronus up close. I mean, not much to say here. He looks like a little Minicon disc. The transformation, very simple for the guy. You bring those out and you turn them to be legs. You bring these out on the top of the circle. You turn his teeny tiny head around. You bring up a shoulder and bring up a shoulder. Rotate down, straighten up the legs, and boom, here you have Micronus in his robot mode. And this is his, this is his actual robot mode. Before anybody loses their mind over the translucent plastic, it feels good, solid, robust. No, it's not any weaker than other plastic. That's a myth and untrue. We have shovels here. made for shoveling snow that are made out of clear plastic because it's actually chemically stronger. I don't know why everybody thinks it's weaker. It's actually not. But here it is. I mean, if your experience with clear plastic, has been negative, then you might not want this. But I love it. I think this is phenomenal for Micronus. In terms of the articulation for this guy, the head goes left, it goes right, looks up and down really. The arms can go all the way around, T-pose out to the side, elbow, bicep swivel, still no waist, leg goes all the way forward, leg goes all the way back, knee, and because of the ball joint, we get a thigh swivel. To do his mode, I guess, for getting on his bike, I'm going to call it bike, that his armor turns into, you don't do much. You'll just bring the arms forward and turn the arm this way so that the forearm is up on the top, so that you can use the 5mm port in the hand to go over a handlebar, and really you'll just spread out the thighs a bit and kind of, get him in a seated position, right? This is phenomenal. In terms of, being able to pull off kind of a pose for the guy. One of the iconic images of him from, I think, The Covenant is when he's sitting down with, his legs kind of crossed. And, you can even pull that off with his arms behind him if you're so inclined. It's really impressive. I'm not going to grade this separately. But it's really impressive. So remember, overall score for the guy right now, he has the mass, he has shimmery paint, he has a fully articulated inner robot and an articulated outer robot. His overall score right now is a 9.5. We have this in the robot mode. Let's go back to the armor for a moment though. Okay, so a couple of things here worth noting. First, the arms, they come off. And they have to come off for the transformation because they're going to go kind of on like this in the end. However, these can go, bent up like this, left like this. There's a 5mm port here. You can put them on the arms of other deluxes as null ray type of things, or down on their leg on the side as leg blasters. So these are usable just like this as the weaponizer feature. We're going to lay those down for now. Then we open all of this out, and I guess I'll say this now. I'm going to fold this up, and fold the head in for the moment. And I'm going to take this out. When you do that, this here should go turn upside down like this, and somehow, some way, this attaches to the back of other deluxes and stuff. I have no idea how. None. The instructions show it with one of the aerial bots. When we get to that aerial bot, I'll try attaching this to that. I've also seen Mark Marr attach it to the white Ultra Magnus, which is the same as the deluxe toy accurate Optimus Prime. I don't have that mold. I don't have the aerial bot mold at the moment. I don't have anything that this works with. I have no idea how to attach this, but this is the orientation that it's supposed to be in to attach. Make of that what you will. And then finally we come to the lower body. Note that with the lower body, as soon as you detach it, the waist piece here, you have to turn it so that these two little starts that were in the back are now facing up. You may also want to make sure that you have this peg out if you want the tire that he becomes to work as a shield. So you would basically take off the toe and straighten it all the way out, and it brings out this piece in here. So toe off, you'll see as I'm pulling it down that it's pulling out a piece in here like that. Then you turn these this way and fold it all the way up and over. This way, all the way up and over. And you should be able to push all of this basically together, and with that peg out, what you would have now is a shield that can go on the arm of another deluxe, I guess. But let's say you don't want to do that. Let's say you actually want to do the tire? Well, if you want to do that, then you got to make sure to bring the leg all the way up and fold this in. If you have those two starts left up, fold them back down. At least I find I have to. Because if I don't fold them back down, when I bring up the other half of the leg and I try and squeeze all of this together, I'm going to end up with a gap here that I don't want, or a gap down here that I also don't want. Once I got all of that done and all of this in and no gaps and it's solid, boom, I have a tire section. So I'm going to lay this off to the side for a moment because most of the transformation deals with the body here, which I'm also going to leave the stone on the side over here. So let's just lay this off to the side along with the arms for a moment. Okay, so with this, I'm going to pick these off, and though I had these folded up, I don't remember if I'm supposed to leave them. I think I am supposed to leave them folded up now, actually. I have the head in. I have these up. They kind of come back because they have to come down under here now. And bring the seat back down. Once I got that done, yeah, that's how it goes. Once I got that done, each of these stars, I suppose, I don't know what you call them, each of these things that turn, they go in the 4 holes of the tire. Remember, with the tire, like I said, when you remove it, it tells you to turn the waist up and have the starts facing upward, which I showed you. But I find when putting it in tire mode, I have to push that waist back down. So that's something that's not clear in the instructions. I don't want gaps in my tire. I want it to roll smoothly. And that's the only way I can get it to transform and do it. So all 4 of these now will go into the 4 peg holes here. There we go. And no, it's not hard to do. It's just hard for me to see here. Very easy to do. Rolls nice and smoothly now. Okay. Next, we're going to take an arm, and that should go there. And this piece should come down, and you'll notice you have a green tab there that should go into this slot in the silver when you bring it down. It might be a little bit of a pain to line it up. I can even bring this one down and do the same, really. And we take this and put it back here. Now you might say to yourself, hey GotBot, now that you got this weird unicycle thing done, when you let it go, it just falls back. That's no good. Well, that's why you can bend the elbows here. Make sure that's in. Bend the elbows so that now, when it's not being like ridden or driven, you can still have it stationary and stable. By the way, to do this transformation is actually super easy. I know that I didn't show pegging the 4, pegs into the holes of the tires, but it's very easy to do. It's just I couldn't like get the leverage, I guess, to show it on camera, but it's super easy to do. The only thing that's not easy to figure out, at least for me at this point, is how in God's name this is supposed to be a backpack for another guy. As for Mirconus himself, you can bring him in and sit him down over, and then to solidify him, take a hand and put over a handlebar, take a hand and put over a handlebar. And no, he does not have to look down because his head can go back. He can actually look forward as he's riding his bike. This is Mirconus in his full-on alt mode. The guy was getting a 9.5. The alt mode and the transformation for it, honestly, it's very easy. I'm going to give it a 10. I really like it. And he can also be parts for another bot if you're so inclined, which really makes sense when you think about the Chimera Stone as him being able to take the power of other bots or give his power to other bots. Then it seems kind of fitting that in addition to giving his power, he can also give his armor to be a backpack or shield or extra blasters or whatever. Mirconus is one of those that's really weird. In fact, he was the inspiration for a recent GotBot Counts Down of weirdest alt modes, because I think this definitely counts as a weird alt mode. Overall, 9.5, transformations a 10. I'm going to say the guy is easily a 9.75. Mirconus is one of those that a lot of people wouldn't think of to get or might skip over and say he's too weird, too small, too strange. But honestly, in hand, the dude is a bundle of fun. And here we are once again, and here he is, and color me shocked that he has the mass required to be a deluxe. I love that he has armor, but that the real deal Minicon guy himself, who turns into a Minicon disc, who has the Minicon logo on him, is inside the chest, a la Pretenders. The arms coming off, that's cool. The legs coming off to be like a wheel shield, that's cool. I have no idea how the torso piece is supposed to go attached to anyone. I'm assuming it uses the two little divots down in the silver part, but I really don't know. I have not been able to figure it out. And at this point, I have not looked at the aerial bots because he's shown in the instructions with Fireflight, I think. So when we do get to the aerial bots, and we're going to get around to them, don't worry, I think we're going to take a little bit of a break and do a couple of things before we get to them. But when we get there, I'm going to kind of revisit this guy and try and see that then. But as a bot himself, if you don't want the whole taking him apart gimmick and stuff, this is still pretty excellent. The articulation is great. The mass is there. The paint is pretty good on the guy. I was concerned about the wrists, but he has wrists. Granted, fingers would have been nice, but finger blasters are cool, I guess. I thought that these pieces were really going to get in the way of articulation, but they actually don't, which is really cool as well. The Chimera Stone being on his tummy, that makes perfect sense. I ended up thinking this is one of the weirdest Transformers I own, but you know what? I absolutely love it. And then inside with Micronus proper, when you do put him in robot mode, he has all the articulation that you could possibly want. More than any bot really of that diminutive size that I've encountered in a long time. Excellent little Minicon disc. Excellent Apex armor-ish, Pretender-ish body. And all of the hunk and chunky mass that you could possibly want. Yeah, this guy is fantastic. Let me know what you think about Micronus Prime. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring. Or of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button. Stick around and have some fun with us here on the channel. And don't forget, not for a moment, not for a second, that you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres, or the old fashioned way right here inside the videos.